Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Exploragonians, a travels misadventures podcast. I'm your co-host, Katie.
And I'm Jordan. How do we know each other?
We are married,
No.
and we're based out of Tillamook, Oregon.
And this week it is the most wonderful time of the year here in Tillamook, Oregon, because it is time for the Tillamook County Fair.
Dun dun dun.
And I would say the entire year revolves around this thing. Like all of the magic of our community, it like holds off and it all kind of erupts into this week. We talk about the Pig and Ford, which you will find out what that means. It's the marquee event. We talk about food. We talk about
animals, like maybe way too much about the animals, but you're gonna learn some things.
I ask if adults with ducks can enter things in the fair.
It's our longest episode ever. And it's a special episode.
Aw, something that's very near and dear to both of our hearts and to this community and to a lot of other people who make the pilgrimage every year to check out the
iconic
Tillamook County Fair.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You know, I feel like you're coming in hot today.
I am. It's the first time.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. What do you think? It's the coffee?
Oh, no, definitely not. No, Jordan made me savory oats this morning.
Oh, so now you're just feeling that energy boost. Also, my mic is too low. I feel like I'm kind of like...
You were a little hunched.
Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast.
Wow, really channeling your Conan O'Brien there.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Well, we are doing another bait and switch on you explorers again this week. I know you were probably really, really excited to hear all about Beaverton, Oregon.
Yeah, who wouldn't be?
I don't know, someone who moved away.
From Beaverton?
Yeah, they're like, I don't want to hear about Beaverton. I don't even live there anymore.
Oh, come on.
You took a look at
the calendar.
And you realized that there was actually probably a more appropriate thing that we could talk about this week.
Definitely a timelier episode. I realized that we are 10 days out, which by the time you listen, it'll be even less than that.
It'll be 14 days out when you listen.
Oh, yeah, good math. And we're going to switch it up and do an episode about the Tillamook County Fair.
Why would we talk about the Tillamook County Fair?
Because it is... I feel like I keep using iconic, but I'm trying to think of a different word. But I do feel like the Tillamook County Fair is iconic. No?
Iconic locally or iconic for all the people?
I think
creatures.
For all the people. Well, okay, let me back up. I think the Tillamook County Fair used to be iconic.
Oof.
Oh, sorry.
Dang.
Sorry, I know. I mean, we're starting off and I'm already throwing shade. But... I still love it. I'm willing to do a podcast episode all about it.
The Tillamook County Fair, I think between the two of us, like in my mind, I'm like, oh, the fair is like really important to me. And it's like, there's this really iconic,
oh my God,
pivotal thing in my life. But then I think about you, and you've done probably 8 times as many things at the Tillamook County Fair than me. Like the fair is such a iconic, pivotal thing in this county, in this community. Like I would say growing up that the entire year basically revolved around the fair, and it's kind of like,
that's what you thought?
Yeah.
Well, how is that true? How is that true if I did 8 times, whatever you just said?
Well, I
was so much more involved.
You were so involved, but I went as a consumer of the fair, or
right.
like, because I hadn't gone to like Disneyland or any theme parks. So it was like, that was like the thrill. Like you'd have the carnival. For me, it was the carnival and like some of the other things.
I think for most kids, it's the carnival. And
it's also like this weird thing. It's kind of like it marks the end of summer and kind of like the first foray into like, it's the last... Like it's like the death knell of summer, and it's preparing for like the school year. You're kind of getting a sense of like what the pecking order might be next year. You're getting a sense of like, who your friendships might be going in. I think for me, the fair was this thing like it was magical. Like anything could happen. Like friends could be gained, friends could be lost, love could be gained. Like anything could happen at the fair.
I think that's true. Anything's possible at the Tillamook County Fair.
I think it's so strange, like growing up in this small community where like not a lot of magic and wonder happens, but I think it's all concentrated like in the fair. Like
100%. 100%. This is the magic hour. I'm excited to talk about it.
So all this is to say, this is going to be a very, I think, special episode. Like it just has such a deep meaning for you and I. And one of the main reasons that our relationship flourished the way it did is because of the fair.
Is that true? Oh, that's true.
The dunk tank.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yes.
I have a college ruled notebook with notes. You have a post-it note.
I have a post-it notes.
You have a post-it
note of notes.
Your eye is trained on that post-it note right now. What's bubbling up for you?
I mean, there's nothing. I think we should start with you. I know that your history
is very rich.
I am starting with the current building. I was going to start in 1925, which is already way after the fair started. So
Yes.
I was going to say you start.
Oh, you're going to do like some history report? Are we doing history?
No.
Okay,
I'm just trying. No. Jordan was
let's
giving
do-
me shit that I'm not like doing anything. I'm just here in the moment. I'm responding. So I, did a post-it note of
Great.
notes
Yeah, it's
because I'm
stuck
trying
to-
to be present.
it's
I want to
stuck-
hear. You're giving me a history lesson, so I am ready. I'm ready.
Fine. The Tillamook County Fair, it started in 1891. And if you're counting, that means next week's fair, because this comes out on a Wednesday, this is a week out, it will be the 134th
100?
fair.
Wow.
Right. And things were going well there. Like you said on your post-it note, the 1925 thing, what happened in 1925?
So what I had read was that initially somebody donated like 85 acres of land, and they were like, okay, we're going to start the fair.
Well, I had initially read that the fair was between, quote unquote, the railroad tracks and Evergreen, which is not where the fair currently is.
Wow.
It's in Tillamook. It's just not there.
Well, that's nice.
But now that's kind of like a developed area / maybe the lumber mill.
Well, see, it is interesting because where the fairgrounds was like,
'Tis east of town.
and it was like literally across the street from where my dad and grandparents and my aunts grew up. And I mean, that would have been, so action-packed. You're right there. Well, anyway, so blah, blah, blah. I had read that they have 63 acres today.
Oh, so either when it moved, they had less acres, or they have shrank some of that.
Right. I think that maybe they sold. I mean, I was like, oh, is that where the like new apartments are?
Or the
Or, like-
college.
Yeah, maybe the college. I guess that makes sense. Okay.
For those of you who don't know, the local community college is on one side of the parking lot of the fairgrounds.
Okay. So the fairgrounds is our like community hub. It's like the biggest event center. Like, I mean, you and I had our wedding reception there. I think a lot of people have had their wedding receptions there. There's Tillaskate that happens, or that did happen.
Time to grab your skates.
So I was going to say in 1925 is when they built the new dome. And to me, when I think of the fairgrounds, I think of the dome.
That dome was white for a really long time, and I thought it was like crazy when they redid the dome and it was black.
Is it black?
I think so.
See,
Right.
it's white in my memory.
Yeah.
But see.
Well, so they also, between 1925 and 1927, they built the new exhibit building, they built the new grandstands, barns, and a dance hall.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what the dance hall is.
Well, I was thinking that was the Tillaskate.
That makes sense.
Well, and then it's interesting because like our the grandstands were wood.
So are they the ones from the 20s? Because I feel like they were actively dilapidating when we were growing up.
See, I loved them, but
I
right,
loved them
I think
too.
it was like, right, you need to be careful. And then I was like, did it catch on fire?
No, they just...
They just-
Well, maybe, but I know that they demolished it to make way for the aluminum ones, which sound terrible.
I know. I think they were really proud of like the aluminum grandstands, which are still there today. They are okay.
Have not caught fire.
They are, will probably witstand the test of time,
After
but
civilization ends, the grandstands will remain.
they're they're just not as nice as the wooden ones where you're just like, get a sliver.
Did you get a sliver in those?
No, but somebody probably did.
I have memories of just going there like hours before like a concert, and my mom would be like, put our blankets down. And so you just put a blanket down. You probably never had this because you always had your box.
No, but I definitely saw.
You saw the peasants putting their
I
blankets
saw a lot
down.
of blankets down, and I had friends that had blankets on.
The peasants. Okay, so for you explorers at home, Katie's grandfather was like this beloved veterinarian. Her grandmother would always say he wasn't the best vet, but he had the best personality, most charisma.
Grandma liked to keep him humble.
So he was the track vet for 45 years. So he was the one in charge of like taking care of the horses, and in lieu of payment, I believe he was like, I'll take box seats at the fair, which probably was a pretty good deal because there's like a 30-year waiting list for those things.
It might be more than that. I mean, it's a long list.
Which is wild. So yeah, you always screw up, always knowing that you would have seats in the grandstands to watch the horse races, to watch the other events, to watch the concerts. You would always have those. Versus the peasants, like moi, you'd have to go like stake out a seat, and you'd have to hold on to that all day.
But see, what's interesting about that is, yeah, I did have access to seats, but I was never there. I was at
because you were so active.
I was so active. I was involved with 4-H, like, so I would like be showing animals, or we would, I don't know, have stuff displayed, or I don't know, or I was at the carnival, or I was dancing, or I was, running around with other friends
with a boy.
I feel like I was never in the box. Yeah, until now.
Now you're always just in the box.
You and I, just box life.
I don't want to be in the box that whole time.
You know what? You get out of the box. You can go put a blanket down.
Yeah, I like how I grew up. Go sit over there.
Go sit on your blanket.
So the Tillamook County Fair, it's 4 days, generally like the first full week of August or like the first Wednesday, maybe the second Wednesday of August.
It's the second Wednesday through Saturday.
It didn't used to be like that. The initial fair was in early September.
What? When they changed that?
I don't know. The 1800s?
I was like, ever since I've been alive.
Yeah, since the 1980s.
18?
Katie's a vampire. Okay, so yeah, this fair happens. It's 4 days. There's a carnival. Everything that you can imagine at fair. It's good food. It's bad food. It's a crap shot. You don't know what you're going to get. I've been sick from fair food multiple times.
What? Where were you eating?
Well, I got noodles.
Sacred Heart.
Sacred Heart. So the Catholic church that I grew up in, they had an iconic position on Restaurant Row, and Restaurant Row was built in '63. So all those like little, I think calling it a restaurant row is quite generous.
I've never called it a restaurant row.
Well, it's not a restaurant row.
It's
restaurant row.
Restaurant row. I mean, yeah, it's just. I mean, I do think it was all about Sacred Heart because they think they probably had the least processed food.
You got this like Bollywood head bob going when you talk about that.
But I was like,
they were doing burgers and salads and probably like a taco salad and fries. Their garlic fries, though, terrible because they would just get like a tub of like, probably named Costco.
Minced garlic.
That was, the minced garlic that like floats in a liquid.
Mm-hmm.
And they would just make fries and then take generous heaping scoops of this liquid minced garlic and just plop it on top. And it was very unsatisfying.
Right. And I'm like, guys, I like the idea. We were ambitious, but I feel like execution, I wanted more. Anyway, Sacred Heart is gone now because the people aged out. They got older, and you have these, I think, younger. That's my interpretation, is the younger people didn't want to do it. They didn't have as many
ambitious young Catholics.
I think so.
I just think there's been such a shift with the Tillamook County Fair. You've mentioned just people in like your grandparents' generation and probably like the generation directly after them, they all took so much pride in the fair because it was dilapidating. So the Tillamook County Fair during the 80s was kind of on a downhill slide in the years pre their 100th anniversary. And so the county wasn't taking care of the grounds. The buildings were dilapidating. I think there was one year, it was right after the New Guard took over, but like one of the main timbers and like one of the dairy barns fell during the height of the fair. And so they had to condemn the building, build a new one. And so after it was like the 99th fair, it was in 1990.
Right. The whole board quit.
They all quit. And so the New Guard stepped up and they really renovated this thing and the whole community got behind it. And there was this groundswell of support from like individuals and businesses in the county. And they really rejuvenated the fair, which was to our benefit, it being the early 90s.
Totally. It was like the height of when you and I were growing up. And so it was just like, I mean, yeah, the timing of that.
I know. Look at us really getting the benefits.
Finally.
So, right, the fair has a carnival. So you have like your janky ass rides
Hey.
and your carnival games. And then they have vendors of questionable, of dubious quality. I mean, the vendors are crazy. Like it's just junk. It's always junk. I don't think there's ever been a nice thing sold at the fair.
I used to love shopping at the fair, so you take that back.
All junk. I will die on this hill.
I got some of my favorite
Junk.
like, purses. It was kind of what? Eastern
Rastafarian. I feel like it's always kind of like
Yeah.
like insultingly Asian and Rastafarian. And also like, graffiti spray paint, Little Mermaid with tattoos.
Okay, well that's like new fair.
Okay, well that's good. Or like alien stuff. I feel like aliens are on things, or like ponchos, fake Afghan blankets.
Hey, I think the fair reflects the moment, the time.
Okay.
Anyway, I got some of my favorite like bags. It was like a,
like a crossbody?
Yeah, and it had it's like the Asia.
What are you talking about?
Asia. I was trying to think of like not Middle Eastern, but I mean there is like a style that I am thinking of, but words, no.
Like
anyway,
Mongolian?
I had a Mongolian crossbody bag. Anyway, this bag had like sequins on it, which, I'm
Great.
into.
Yeah, quality.
Oh, yeah.
Sequins equals quality.
Oh, my God.
Every time.
I love this bag.
I've never seen this bag.
Yeah, because it was before your time.
Because probably it disintegrated in the rain.
Because I wore it so much. I just feel like my style reflected the fair.
Is the fair?
Yeah.
Oh, babe.
You know what? But it's like Tillamook has a Fred Meyer store. To buy clothes unless you went out to Portland or the Valley somewhere. And so, yeah, the fair, there was people coming from elsewhere bringing goods. So,
bringing their Rastafarian, vaguely Asian gear.
I think the stuff being sold today, is a lower quality than when we were at peak fair.
That's fair.
That is fair.
Well, now you could get like piercings at the fair. Like that was like a trailer that showed up.
But henna tattoos, I've never received them at the Tillamook County Fair. That was for me specifically only happened at the state fair.
Hey, guess what? We're not talking about the state fair.
We're not. And
they did bring henna back though. I've seen it.
No, not back. They brought it. No, my mom gets it every year, and I'm like, why aren't we getting henna together? And she's like, all of a sudden my mom's gone, and she comes back with like a glittery henna leg. Oh yeah.
Put that leg away.
I'm gonna say my family and I we're fair rats.
You are fair rats. You live at the fair.
I did live at the fair, and when I was showing animals in 4-H,
So for the explorers at home who don't know what 4-H is, I didn't know what 4-H was. I did not get to participate in these things.
So 4-H is a program that I don't even know that I could tell you what it is.
Well, that's
what does it even?
Well, that 4-H stand for health. Hardiness.
Oh my gosh.
Is it really health?
I think so.
Because I was just making things up. I was gonna be like, Heath bars and hemoglobin.
Wow. Okay. Well, according to 4H.org, 4-H is America's largest youth development organization.
Do you feel like it helped develop you?
I'm sure it did.
Good.
Empowering nearly 6 million young people with the skills to go beyond the expected, to be beyond ready. Oh, okay.
For what? The apocalypse? Okay. Do you feel like you're beyond ready right now?
Maybe it's like head, heart.
Hands? Is hand one?
Okay,
or
well,
Han?
I feel like I shouldn't have to. Oh, here we go.
Jessica, Jessica's listening right now being like, Katie.
I know.
Come on
she
now.
knows. I've moved on.
You weren't ready beyond.
All right, people. 4-H is head, heart, hands, and health.
Hey, see, I got like 3 of those.
All right, we got it.
I'm really sad hemoglobin.
The 4-H's.
Hemoglobin?
We did 4-H because I think my grandma did 4-H, or she was very adamant that we should do 4-H. Anyway. So
to develop you beyond human capability.
So when we had my cousin Jessica on the show talking about her trip to Tanzania.
Sup, girl?
Sup, Jessica?
So the fair is like a big showcase for the things that you work on during the year for 4-H.
Correct. But you could also do that in open class. So you don't have to.
I don't know what that means.
So open class is open to anyone. So you don't have to be. So even you,
The fair peasant.
Sorry, 4-H was nice because it's something you could start in 4th grade, I think.
Oh, because 4.
Oh my God. And, and it was a way to develop skills. Jessica and I learned how to sew and cook. But I mean, I think the first thing we made, or one of the first things we made, was like an apron. And then you turn it in. And so what was nice about 4-H is for participating, you got in free to the fair every day. They gave you a bracelet
for each day. So you could
every day.
You could submit like a bad drawing. And 4-H would be like, well, here's your 4-day pass.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
You really missed out. I mean, I'm kind of surprised you weren't. Well, see, we should have been friends.
Taking advantage? Yeah, we should have been friends.
We should have been friends.
Whose fault is that, Katie?
Yours.
Hey, you're older than me. You should have been like, hello, little boy. I'll say, hello, old lady.
Wow.
Will you take me to the fair?
Well, anyway, so blah, blah, blah. Besides those things, I ended up later doing animals showing.
Which blew my mind
cows.
that you showed animals, because I didn't even know you were like
a farm kid.
Farm girl.
So it was like friends, farmer friends we had, they showed cows at the fair.
What does that even mean, to show a cow at the fair?
So you could bring like a baby calf, or I mean, it was like all different ages of
cow.
Could
you bring a really
calf,
old
heifer, cow?
Like this one's gonna it's not long for this world.
I mean, you could, but see, what was different about like our farm is like most people, they'd have an animal, they'd bring it to the fair, and then bring it back to their farm. That's what I'm gonna say probably everybody did. We over here at this farm didn't, we just didn't do that. And it was partially to be proactive. We had what was called a closed herd. And so once the animals left the farm, they could not come back, just to be proactive so that if they picked up any other germs from somebody else or something that was living at the fair or wherever, they couldn't come back and contaminate the whole herd, which was probably my grandpa, who was this veterinarian, being like, it's not worth it.
There's some diseases out there.
Right. So anyway, I was showing animals, and these people, they would wake up early. Like, the fair doesn't open until what, 10?
Yeah.
And we had to be there at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., because some people would have just a ton of animals. There was way more animals when we were growing up than there are today. But I mean, yeah, people would be just like, you're out there, it's dark.
Why do you have to get there 7 hours before the fair opens?
I think mostly because people had so many animals that they had, where it's like, we got to wash all 10 of these cows.
But if you're washing one and showing one, that you still had to.
That's what but see, this is where I broke off, and I was like, I'm all independent. That's where, I was like, we are showing up at, I think I ended up showing up at like 8. Or,
And people were like, what are you doing here?
So late? I'm such a rebel. But, it was great because when I got there super early, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, the area where you wash the cows was so crowded. There was so many cows in there, so many people.
Is it like an open shower? What where are you washing? Is it just hoses?
Have I not shown you?
I think you've shown me. I'm also helping the explorers get like a concept.
Okay, so it's right outside the barn. There's like the cement slab. I guess there's faucets. Obviously.
And so you'd have like 8 cows in there?
I feel like there was like 15 cows in there.
Would you be in a bathing suit? Like, how are you washing this cow?
What? No. We're like in our barn clothes, washing. It's like you're hosing her off, and you're like putting the soap on. Then she's done. Then she has to dry, because then a part of showing the cow is you got to like get them ready. So like, you got to fix the top coat, and like, oh, does she need to like be trimmed here, get a little shave, or like make sure these hairs are trimmed.
Man,
I mean, it's involved, you guys.
But you also kind of had to break the cow before, right? You had to like teach them to like, be
right. It's like, putting your dog on the leash, right? You're like, okay, can we walk together? So yeah, you had the halter, and you're like leading this animal around the ring to show off to the judge, so they can be like, wow, this animal looks really great, and you're working with the animal. Like, I mean, it's both. You're judged on both.
But did you have like a rival where you're like, oh, Gary's here, showing his cow.
Oh, please. Everybody was my rival. I was kicked out of a 4-H club for not fitting in with them, which was a weird place to be.
Also, a weird thing to do to a child.
It was weird.
Hey, but you know what? He's on the fair board now.
That's right. And his wife stormed the Capitol. And if that's you, listen to this, well, I mean...
You can delete this download. It's fine.
Anyway, so it's okay. So because I was kicked out of the 4-H group or asked to leave...
During the fair or pre-fair?
I kind of feel like it was pre-fair. I think it was in the summer. And, and Storm the Capitol was like... She was like, I just kind of feel like maybe Katie would do better, like doing her own thing. And, which ultimately is true. And so I, defected and it was like, so then my own group ended up being me. And then I converted Jessica.
Sup, girl?
Yep. So she, not a farm girl, got involved, and then my younger brother Troy, and I think our two cousins,
like Tyler and
Mackenzie, and they did chickens also, so we called ourselves Moos and Peeps,
which is adorable. Is this a Katie original name?
You know it is.
I loved when Troy described showing the chickens during the fair and how he had to like rotate this bird in his hand and be like, show me the vent. And you're like, ugh.
Right. I remember like they were in the garage and my mom has the chicken diagram and they're trying to identify.
Well, like chicken school?
Yeah, because they had to know what was up about the chicken.
And here is the vent. Do you feel like we've gone down a weird animal show?
Oh
rabbit
yeah,
hole?
no, we're way too deep. Anyway,
it's an important part of the fair. I mean, this is an aspect of the fair that I didn't have growing up, and it's just a world that my relationship with the fair was carnival, eating bad food, having an elf in ear,
right,
and then like watching a concert. So you had you are part of like what foundationally the fair represents. It's putting in exhibits, it's showing off animals, agriculture products, art, all this stuff.
I was going to say also like another part of it, so that I really learned having my own 4-H group, was part of it is like decor, right? So the fair every year has a different theme.
And some are better than others.
That's true. And so, like decorating, like you say, you have the fences, you have your...
Like little like picket fences that are just kind of like, they're built in, right?
One of them, they're built in. I mean, everything is brought in,
okay.
And like there's so much time and energy spent to like build this thing for the public to come and be together.
And is most of it volunteer?
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty crazy. And I just think we are in a society that's like, we are de-emphasizing the importance of like volunteer work.
Right.
And, we're so squeezed for time that like there's not really room to volunteer.
And we're also told, I think people are like taken advantage of, and we're kind of leaning towards this like, well, don't let people take advantage of you, and it's like if you're not getting paid, don't do it, or it's not worth it. And
I get it. Speaking of someone that loves to volunteer and not really be rewarded in any sort of financial way, it's a little exhausting.
Right.
Especially when volunteering is great when there's a lot of hands involved and the work is evenly shared. Mm-hmm. But when it's like there's so few people, but the volunteer still has to happen, just more duties start piling up. And I think that's kind of where we're at. There's like less people involved.
Right.
Is what it seems like.
Right. So, yeah, we would like volunteer. We would decorate this area, and like at one point, my mom was like, "Oh, let's have like a photo booth." And I think we had like a little director's chair, and we made like a fun background. We'd put like
where your animals were.
Oh yeah, we'd have like the cows in the background.
Great.
We had like a fun sparkly hat, sequence, and I feel like we had like a bright pink boa, and we would just see people and put them in the chair, take their picture, talk about the animals. But also, the last thing I'm going to say about Moos and Peeps is every year there was
White Clover.
There was White Clover, and they won
another group. They're another 4-H group.
They won an award that was like cleanest barn award. So it was like their area was like very tidy everything was like, I mean, you'd see these boys and they were just like constantly sweeping the floor and you're like, what is going on? They kept it just in tip top shape. And so one year that was like, Jessica and I are like, this is our goal. And we swept and we kept it looking so great. We beat them. So on this plaque, it says like White Clover every year, except for 1 year it says Moose and Pea.
Was that one of your proudest moments?
It was. All right, let's move on. So yes, animal barns back in the day, and I guess still today, but it's downsized. There's an open class that's open to everybody. Well, not everybody. Like
so, like, if I had a duck, I could enter best duck.
No. Well, I guess you could. But I was gonna say open class, like in the dairy barn, there was like a 4-H section. And so I feel like that would be like if you had a duck, you could be involved. So I don't know, like an adult with a duck. I'm not sure where you.
You don't like adult with a duck?
I'm not sure how you get involved.
This sucks.
Anyway, but then the open barn would be like these farms that would bring, 10 animals. I mean, and these people are very serious about showing. I mean, I was not at that level. I was not interested in that. I mean, where people would fly to like Wisconsin or somewhere else and they would be showing. And my parents were like, oh, that's so-and-so on TV showing these animals. And I'm like, what is going on? Anyway, so that's...
Did you generally get, like, good marks for your showing?
No. I mean, I probably did okay. I never felt like I did great. It was, because I didn't really grow up doing it. So it was kind of like a later... like figuring it out, and they were like, okay, and like the legs, like you're trying to get your animal to like have your legs like this and then like that, and you get them to switch, and you're like, can they go forward, can they go backward, blah blah blah. And
I feel like it's like the Purina dog show,
right? It's
for cows,
right? It's probably comparable. And then the last day of the fair, you do cow judging, which that was not. Oh my God. I feel like
you had to judge other animals.
Yeah. So they would bring out like 4 cows and they would, walk them around, and then you had to order them like best to worst. And then you had to go and read
you had to like defend it.
Yeah, to the judge. And you'd say, I placed, 1/2 because 2, da-da-da-da-da. And you had to go through the whole thing. And I think you had to have it memorized.
Wow. How close is this to Napoleon Dynamite where he drinks the milk and goes, this one got into the onion patch?
I think that they do reasons and like the cow judging. I think it is an extension of what they do in FFA, which is what Napoleon Dynamite is doing in that. Anyway, I think we should move on.
From animals.
Except this... Now at the fair, they do the milk chugging contest, which is not something like the relay.
It is fun. It's also very chaotic. Also, a large group of men. There's these like, I think they're all kind of like teachers or friends. It's just large men who win every year. But I also think they cheat because they just like slam into tables and just like milk's going over their face. I'm like, you're not even drinking that milk. You're just like, and it's foul and hilarious and probably doesn't smell good after a couple days.
So are you doing it this year?
We have to build a team, like the Avengers.
We have to build a team.
Okay, can you wear cleats? I feel like that would help because you're doing
That's
it in
true.
the grass. Cleats would be great.
Do you have cleats?
I could make cleats. I could just take a nail.
I think I wore cleats once, but I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, what were you wearing cleats for?
Hey, I played softball.
Do you need cleats for softball? I guess so.
You probably don't really need them.
I had cleats when I played football.
Well, what do you need cleats for?
Yeah, for... purchase.
All right, let's move on.
Okay, you got your Post-it note. What else you got in there? That magical Post-it note.
I was going to talk about, so many things. We could talk about food.
Yeah, like those noodles that make you sick. Restaurant row.
Everybody was obsessed with those noodles. They're like these fair noodles that just were like
brown,
greasy
brown,
kind of like orange tint.
Some cabbage, just like loose cabbage. As an adult, I'm like, that was cabbage. As a kid, I'm like, I don't know what this is.
Did you eat it?
Yeah, of course I ate it. I was hungry.
I feel like you probably ate it because everybody else was eating it.
The noodles?
Yeah.
I wasn't as big into the noodles as other people. I think
people were so into it. It was like, I will eat nothing else. Oh, another benefit of 4-H is
noodles?
You could get like a home-cooked meal at the fair if you like signed up. which now I really appreciate.
Because they have like a separate little barn.
Yeah, they have like a nice building with like a commercial kitchen, so they were like preparing real food that you could eat to like sustain
Real food?
to sustain you these 4 days that are pretty like sun up to sundown, as we've stated. You don't start at like 3 in the morning because they fed you breakfast after you were done washing your animals.
So Restaurant Row at the Tillamook Fair, I mean, there's like, 3 stations, maybe 4. There's one that's been there a really long time. It always has like the same kind of like fairly janky, like big mauve squishy chairs. I don't know if they bring those in. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like the first one?
I do.
We never went there. That was like no man's land. It was like, you do not go to that one. But a lot of people did. And then, well, now it's like, I guess it's a fundraiser for like a T-ball club or something, like Pee Wee baseball or a baseball team. They're doing like quote unquote Hawaiian chicken. And then there was Sacred Heart. We always ate at Sacred Heart. Get a Sacred Heart burger. All that, support the Catholic Church.
I think my grandparents ate there, my aunt and uncles ate there. My family did not eat there. My mother grew up Catholic and like denounced Catholicism, so I kind of feel like that's why we did not eat there. She was like, I don't want to eat there.
It's so sad. That was like the best place to go. Well, and then there's all the little like, I guess now they're like kind of food cart kind of things that have like the traditional fair food. Your elephant ears, curly fries. I don't know, maybe someone's hawking caramel apples.
Oh yeah, Papa Murphy's was having a moment. They're there.
Well, last year, like do you remember the fry bricks that showed up? Like it used to be curly fries. Now it's like a brick of fries, which is very disturbing looking. Do you remember those? We saw them last year.
I saw them, but see, it is interesting because I think like deep fried Oreos and like those types of a very classic like fair food is not food that I have ever.
Do they have deep fried Oreos at the fair?
I feel like Gary's talked about that. Like people do bring up it was like the craziest like deep fried, crazy, crummy, not good for you food you can find at the fair. For me, I always ate a Pronto Pup. Pronto Pup was my go-to fair food.
For our explorers at home, the hell's a Pronto Pup?
A Pronto Pup is a pancake batter dipped hot dog.
So what's the difference between that and a corn dog?
Is a corn dog is not pancake batter. It's all about the batter.
I know. Is it like is a corn dog? Is it like just like wet cornmeal? Is that what's going on there? Like is it polenta?
This is
polenta.
We're gonna have to get back.
But yeah, I had never had a Pronto Pup. The people I was
never
around,
until we got together.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We had this filmed. Anyway.
Okay.
I never had it. You were just as aghast then as you were today, sitting there with your Post-it note on your thigh.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Pronto Pup guy, he's been the guy doing it this whole time because the Pronto Pup originated outside of Rockaway Beach, Oregon, is like where it maybe started. And I don't know.
I mean,
we could talk about.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Anyway, but yeah, he shows up in a cart and he goes to like places all around Oregon with his like Pronto Pup. I don't know. It looks kind of like vaguely Mexican. Like it's kind of like poncho-y, like in the design.
It's definitely poncho-y.
Kind of southwestern.
Yeah, it's cute. It's yellow.
So he does cheese blimps, zucchini pups.
Cheese
Pronto
blimp
pups,
is deep fried Tillamook cheese.
which my God.
Which I remember my cousin Meredith was all about it. And I was like, what did you order?
And then she moved to Canada and she's like, oh, hey, they have poutine, but I've had a cheese blimp.
That's right. Yeah, no, I've never had their other stuff. Cheese blimp or the zucchini, the dip veg. But yeah, Pronto Pup, I've had one probably every year.
You've had multiple every year.
My whole life.
Well, there was a famous local sausage stand that was there every year. And I'm not naming names because I do like this person. But there was one year I was like starving. And so I went and got one of their sausages. And I remember biting into it. And it was like raw or bloody. I mean, there was like something that was like, there's something ain't right here. And I remember just feeling like kind of sick afterwards. That and the noodles were the two things that I was like, ruh-roh, Bad News Bears. They have since vacated that space and are now a little latte shop. And so there was a sweet couple who allowed us to use one of their espresso machines. Their traveling espresso machine for our wedding.
That they used exclusively for the fair.
And so they would set up shop for years and they would sell you pretty much at market price You know, there's standard price for their coffees, and they'd just be busting them out. It was awesome. It was such a nice offering. They have since retired from doing that. And so the new latte place that's there is double the price. It is exorbitant. It is disgustingly expensive. Like, we went up and got one latte, and they were like, that'll be $9. And I was like, huh?
This was years ago, you guys.
Like 3 years ago, maybe.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's probably even more now.
And in inflation, that's got to be $15, $16. But yeah, we were like, oh no, we just ordered one. And
They're
they're like,
yeah.
Awful. Okay, so another like fun food memory is we were getting, I don't know, there was like someone doing Mexican food. I don't know, we're getting tacos or something. And we were standing there, we had ordered, and the woman goes, excuse me, I have to ask, are you Josh Groban?
To Jordan.
Oh, yeah. So they didn't say it to Katie.
And this has been a thing that's come up.
I've never been more honored in my whole life.
And Jordan's like, oh no. And then she didn't believe him and was like, but are you though? And I think if he had said yes, I think we would have had free tacos, but
I should have just been like, you raise me up, sir. I was so happy to get Josh Groban as like a celebrity lookalike because someone once told me I looked like Michael Cera, and I like Michael Cera as an actor. I don't want to look like Michael Cera, okay?
And it's really left a lasting impression on Jordan. He can't get over it.
Yeah, but you know what
I do not think you look like Michael Cera.
You know what I can't get over? Being called Josh Groban. What a hunk.
Not to me. You're way hotter than Josh. Okay, last thing about food.
My God.
My recent thing is there's the horse races that happen, and like right by the stage.
The horse?
No, right by the stage. I don't know. It's like my mom's classmate now. Somebody's making pigs in a blanket, which I think has been going on for years. And you know what? They're pretty good.
Yeah, the doghouse.
Anyway, okay.
Okay, so clearly you like.
Maybe I'm hungry.
You like a dog in a bun.
Clearly.
You're like, give me a hot dog.
Yeah, we're not talking elephant ears or anything like that. I'm like, yeah,
Man,
can I get a
elephant ears is pretty good though. Also, I was terrified of elephant ears. I was like, I don't want to eat an elephant's ear.
I feel like I also felt that way. Like, what's up with that name?
Yeah, I mean, they're massive. I mean, it's clearly an Asian elephant ear, not an African elephant ear. We should do African elephant ears. They'd be so big.
There we go. Have you ever had a caramel apple?
Well, I've had a caramel apple in my life. I never had one at the fair.
I had one at the fair because I thought they looked so good, but
They're just messy.
Also hard. I couldn't like.
Oh, so it was like hard caramel.
It was.
Okay, I have Dolly Parton's Hard Candy Christmas in my head right now. One smell that will immediately always take me back to the fair is the smell of like fried onions. Onions. So at the entrance of the carnival, there is just someone doing burgers and, you know, fried onions, or like caramelized onions. And I've never eaten there. We've never eaten there, but they just are sitting there doing onions on like a giant like skillet.
We'll see. They're trying to tempt you, and
onions.
Why haven't we done it?
Well, I don't trust it.
Oh, come on. You're at the fair. You can't trust any of it.
Live a little.
Even pigs in a blanket.
We have to move on from food.
Let's
and we
move
have to move
on.
from animals.
I'm ready.
Let's go to the carnival.
Okay.
So the carnival, iconic.
Oh my God.
The rides are all fairly dubious, but when you have grown up in a small town with no other options, it is
the ultimate.
Absolutely exhilarating.
It's the best. And I feel like it was like the same, pretty consistent for, you know, when we were growing up.
Which means they were the same rides over the course of a decade or decades, and you'd slowly watch them deteriorate without really realizing it. So one of them is the zipper. Some people call it the squirrel cages. It's a giant...
that's a different one.
Vertical monstrosity. And there's like, I don't know, what's the shape? It's kind of like some strange little...
Oval, kind of?
Oval. I mean, it's kind of shaped like a body sitting down. They're kind of like a casket. A bunch of caskets made of like rusty metal, and it's held in by like a hairpin. And you get in, and like it's like free flipping. The thing goes around. Terrifying. It's like the big deal ride.
It was the big kid ride. If you could ride the zipper, I feel like that was like a rite of passage.
Absolutely.
Right. And it was like, once you did that, you were an adult. You were basically 18.
And if you saw it, you could vote. if you saw classmates, you'd want to be seen in the line at the zipper.
Right, for
You know?
sure. That's where you want it to be. You don't want to be at the little like the yo-yo or
Oh,
no.
the yo-yo is a giant swing ride.
Great.
But
okay.
right, being in the line at the zipper, I mean, it was saying like, don't mess with me. Like, look at me. I'm grown. I'm mature.
Right.
Let's go.
I'm so hardcore. I'm gonna ride the zipper.
I do think I was one of the younger people in my class to have gone on the zipper because my aunt, what's up, Patty? She really wanted to take me on it. I was terrified, and so I waited a year. I was like, I got to think about this. So I took a full year. And then I think it was the summer before my 3rd grade year, we finally went on it. My God, it changed my life. It was the scariest thing that had ever happened to me at that point. Like it was a trip. You know, we were like, 300 feet in the air, flipping around, going around. But then after that, you're chasing that high.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Yeah. But then the other big one was like the Alibaba, which don't love the name. But as a kid, you're like, whoa, because it looks like a flying carpet. And you never want to be, because there's 2 rows, you'd never want to be in the back row.
Oh, no. Well, unless you were really afraid. Then
The back row sucked. You had no view.
And no leg room.
You just saw like, corrugated steel or something. That's all you had. But then being up front, you got a great view of everything. You could like scope out. It was a great place to be if you're like, where are my friends? Oh, they're there.
All right.
But
anyway,
that line was huge for the Alibaba.
I just
massive.
feel like the carnival, like the atmosphere at the carnival, I don't know. It's kind of not sketch, but
It's got
I
an
feel
edge to it, for sure.
It definitely has an edge, and I feel like there's some people that go to the fair and they just are only at the carnival.
Talking about me.
I mean, I feel like it's
A little seedy.
there's
You could probably get some.
there's
probably
a
get some-
vibe.
Probably get some heroin at the carnival if you weren't careful. Well, and I don't know how they would bring in the people who would work the carnival, but like, you call them carnies, but lovingly. There were some questionable characters who were working some of those rides.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like there was some times where, because your life was in their hands.
Mm-hmm.
I think they would elongate like the ride sometimes if they really liked you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I want to go back to the zipper. I'm in high school. I go with my best friend onto the zipper. We're having a good time. We are midway through the ride. We are at the very tip top. We're at the apex. We are at the highest point in Tillamook County at this point. The ride shudders to a stop. It kind of shakes. It is not super big. Like, I don't think the center of gravity is super great on this thing. We're at the very top. It shudders. I hear, quote unquote, the carny, like yelling, making noises down at the bottom. He's like, oh my God. And he's like, he jumps onto it as it's going and is like repairing something as it's like actively kind of moving and shuddering. And then it stops. And then we were stuck on the ride for like a half hour.
It's pretty good.
Have you ever been stuck on a ride?
Oh, sure. But I mean, I don't have any memory of, an employee like jumping on the ride.
Crazy.
I mean, that's pretty hardcore, but I feel like I always had a good time with the carnies. Well, always ready to make a friend.
There was also one time we went to the zipper and like one half of it, because there's like 2 halves, and one half was out of commission. Like one of the carts was just like on the ground in the dirt. And we're like, oh,
that's a great look.
that's not good. Still went on it. That ride has since been retired. It no longer appears.
I feel like for the past, I don't know, 10 years, like I feel like every year you're kind of looking for it, and it was just like, oh, well, I guess we're done. And so clearly, I think there was like safety issues where they were like, maybe not so much. But I mean,
so sad.
I am sad. It was a thrill.
And then I think with some of the other rides, I do remember we were there on like the spinning apples, which is basically like a completely covered version and much jankier version of like, the teacups at Disneyland, right? So the premise is you're in this
Not
like,
everybody knows this.
you're in this like rotating thing with like a big spindle table in the middle that you can use to like, really get going.
Right.
We went with one of our friends, Zach, who is very strong, just a very strong, stocky boy. And, we're in high school. He's at the height of his powers. He is going to town on that. Like, he is going so fast. I felt like we were going to take flight. Like, we were a spinning top. There was no stopping us. And then the ride itself stopped, but he kept going. And so all of a sudden we started hearing like, and the carny like grabs his wrench and starts banging on it. He's like, "You're stripping the gears!"
Oh no!
Yeah, so I mean, Zach, I think, destroyed one of those rides.
Wow.
Good times.
But see, doesn't it make you like be nice to the people that are working these rides because they have to deal with like crazy hormones? And again, it's like no man's land. I feel like parents drop their kids off, go live at the carnival.
It's another realm for sure.
Whoa. Okay.
Did you ever do this? Like, in the days before the fair started, they were getting the rides, they were doing that. Like, we would go start drive-bys like a couple days before the fair to see like what came. You'd scope it out from the street. Like, oh, what's up with this? Oh my God, they have the zipper. Oh, what's that? There was rarely a new ride, but when they brought a new one, you're like, oh my God, what is that?
Of course we did that.
Okay, what about like the games in the carnival?
What about the games? I feel like those always, I don't know. I don't have a much of a relationship because I don't think I ever won any prizes.
Damn.
I think.
See, I was a fat little spoiled boy, and so I really wanted some toys when I went there. Even though they're janky, they're not great. The quality is poor. But you'd see like, the giant plushies, which aren't plushy at all. They're just kind of stiff and hard for the most part. And you'd be like, I want that. I'll do anything for that. And so, yeah, you blow through a decent amount of money trying to win a prize. And then you would win one, but then it'd be like a small one. You'd be like, this sucks. But I remember in the 90s, there was like the balloon popping game, which they still have. But the prizes for a while were like tiny posters in glass.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And you're like, why do I have this glass covered like poster thing? What am I going to do with that? But I remember really wanting them at times. It's like, yeah, I want one of those.
I mean, isn't marketing interesting? I think we should move on.
From the carnival? There's also, I'm not moving on from the carnival. There's also like a button thing. And for years, like in high school into college, the main thing would be like, gather whatever my friend group was of the moment, and you try to get your button at some point. Those were like some of my prized possessions for way too long, were all those buttons. It was like, oh, look at all of my friends, and some new ones, and some leave, and we're all getting older, and oh, unrequited love. Oh, poor Jordan.
It's nice. I mean, buttons, it's a nice thing that they offer.
A button is its own reward.
Some family photos.
What about entertainment? That's a big part of the fair, right? And there are multiple areas where you can have entertainment at the Tillamook County Fair. Besides, they have like, street folk walking around doing their, They
have street performers. I mean, they've had juggling. I think jugglers walking around. They've had somebody playing musical instruments walking around or doing balloon animals.
And the balloon animal people, like, they've been doing it for a really long time. And they also maybe have like an AM radio station where they do like smooth jazz or something, or like,
yeah, it was like a love.
It was like a romance channel. You're like, who are you people?
That's right.
I mean, the balloon animals too, they're free. I mean, you can get balloon animals or hats. I mean, that was like a cool thing that these people would do, and they did forever. And it was always the same people.
I mean, I do think like, what's nice about it is, you pay to get into the fair. But I mean, they do have, I think that they're still doing it where you can, like, it's on Thursday or something, you can bring like some canned food, and like that could, that would be donated to the food bank, and that would be.
Was it for just kids or for anybody? I thought it was for kids.
It might just be for kids. But, like allowing kids to be able to get into the fair. And then, right, like what you're just talking about, that was free. But I think there's a lot of freebies. You walk around like in the convention area and like, people are handing out.
And then some of the freebies are kind of questionable.
Some of them are questionable. So be careful out there.
Like our goddaughter, she showed up with a fetus at one point for this anti-abortion booth. And we're like, put that away.
I was like, I don't want to see that.
Look at my little fetus.
Anyway, okay,
so weird.
Let's go back to entertainment. So there's also free entertainment on the courtyard stage.
But the courtyard is an interesting area because it's just flanked by all like the fair food, right? So it's like
You're close to Pronto Pup.
the courtyard's kind of a weird place, but it is like a central location. I don't love the stage. I think it kind of sucks.
I don't love the stage either. I think it's okay. It's just okay.
Is it cement?
Yeah.
Like this concrete slab?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Great.
all the like local dance studios will be up there. They perform. They've had like a worship night going on there, which whatever.
And the hypnotist for years.
Hypnotist.
They've stopped having the hypnotist, but my God, everyone was like,
I really want to be hypnotized.
I was afraid to be hypnotized.
wait, I thought it'd change your life.
I thought
It'd probably curb your smoking addiction.
Yeah. I thought that one, I wouldn't be able to be hypnotized, or like two, I would be hypnotized, but I'd have to do something so embarrassing or just so crazy. I don't know. I was just like, I do not want to be. Do not pick me.
I went up there once. I think it was right after high school, maybe my first couple of years of college. I went up there and I don't know if I was like necessarily like completely in a trance, but it is kind of like you just kind of mellowed out sitting there. You're just like, you're sleepy and everything kind of sounds like a good idea. But then also I'm a ham, so I was like, yeah, I can do this. Whoa.
I wonder if I saw you right at the end.
And you're like, I am in love with him.
Yeah, that little ham up there.
That
Okay,
little ham of mine.
There's also the ice cream tasting contest put on by the Dairy Women.
What do you think about the ice cream tasting contest?
Well, that was something they might have started that when I was Dairy Princess or the year before. Like, I feel like it was kind of a newer event. And I think it's a really nice idea. So they pull a bunch of people on stage.
Probably like, 15? I mean, like a decent amount.
Yeah, and then you get a blindfold, and then you get like a taste of ice cream.
You get like a mini cone.
Mm-hmm, and then you get to, they get you to guess what ice cream flavor you think it is.
Specifically Tillamook ice cream. But you have to get the name 100% correct. You can't just be like, vanilla. And they're like, no. You have to be like, old-fashioned vanilla.
Right. And they have a list of the names so that you can like study, like, okay, this is what's on the menu. But then if you win, then you get
a coupon
for like a free tub of Tillamook ice cream. But just for going up on stage and participating, they give you a free ice cream cone that you can go and get at the fair.
That you're already at. Thankfully, it is at the fair.
You're already at the fair, but it's like, and then that's like a fundraiser for H. Anyway, it's a great deal.
I love the ice cream tasting contest. I will always go up and try. But see, so here's how I participate in the ice cream tasting contest. We have a relationship with the MC. The MC will see us, and usually he'll call me up, which I'm like, yeah, thanks, Mike. So we'll be sitting up there. I'll get the ice cream. They go 3, 2, 1. I immediately, it's simultaneous. I shove the ice cream in my mouth as my hand goes up. And in the interim time that it takes them to get to me with a microphone, I have to be like, okay, brain, fire on all cylinders. What's in your mouth? And usually I'm wrong, but at least I give myself a fair crack at it.
I think you got it once.
I did get it once, and I felt like a god.
See,
I was so excited. I think I took off my blindfold and like yelled something. Not an obscenity, but I was.
But
I was very proud of myself. I watched you participate in the courtyard many times when you would be a part of the talent show.
Oh, I did that once.
You technically did it twice.
I
only watched
it
you the one time, though. You were a part of was it the inaugural talent show?
Yes, it was the very first talent show that they had at the fair. And my cousin and I were...
I think you were in junior high, right?
Mm-mm.
Younger?
Mm-hmm.
Older?
Younger.
Older?
You guys, I was younger than junior high.
That's elementary school.
So... yeah, we made up a dance.
This is before you were like a part of any sort of like dance troupe.
Mm-hmm. We made up a dance to Bills, Bills, Bills by Destiny's Child.
Ironically, because then you dated a guy named Bill.
Wow, so ironic. And, we did a nice job. I mean, especially for...
It was just the two of you?
No,
there's multiple.
Nope, it was just the two of us.
Oh.
We did it. We lost. But we had fun.
It's because what we found out with the talent show is that you need to have a tragic backstory. So if you guys had been like, we were addicted to meth, and then we found dance, and now we're there, then the judges have a soft spot for you. It was the same when you were an adult and did the two friends busting a move. It was just you and your friend, both two healthy people, doing a fun like hip hop routine.
I know it was a fun like mix of so many great hip hop songs.
And you weren't a recovering drug addict in your
So
story.
the woman who won, right? She had this like sob story about kind of like life being kind of rough, and then she was like on the other side of it, and
Which is great. I just feel like that shouldn't factor into a talent show.
I think that was a deciding factor for her winning, but that's okay. Anyway, and it's good to participate. So talent show, entertainment, that's kind of some stuff that happens at the courthouse.
It's the courthouse.
At the courtyard.
And I feel like you and I are always kind of like out in the audience, like, you know, being very good audience members. We're very enthusiastic. Always.
We're never really hanging out when the reptiles are out there.
No, because you're freaked out by the animal kingdom.
No, I don't really want to.
But it is kind of weird because like the animal people go up there and be like, "Who wants to touch our anaconda?" And then they'll have some kids come up and be like, "Okay, let's drape a snake on you," and they're just on the stage doing that. But it's kind of fun. They talk about funky animals, and
right, it's an educational moment.
you can go and pay and get like a parrot on your head or hold their baby crocodile or something.
I want to talk about the main stage.
Oh my god!
Over where the
where your box is,
where the box is, where Jordan's on his blanket, up in the nosebleed. And so there is a dirt track there, and during the day, like when the fair opens, it goes on for several hours, are the horse races.
Parimutuel horse races, but I don't know what that word means, and I've never looked it up.
And we're not doing it now.
Parimutuel. And the horse racing, I was never into it or interested. I was like, horses. I don't know. Did I have something against horses or like horse racing?
Yeah, see, I was always busy during it, so I didn't really have a relationship, but I knew that, like, my grandparents, and they had friends coming to town, and, like, they were watching the horse races, but my grandparents had horses, and I feel like they were horse people, and I always wanted a horse, but my parents were like, horses are a lot of work, and
so
I
you're getting
couldn't.
a cow.
I know, so I never had a horse, but just, I could have been a horse girl.
I could have been a horse girl.
Anyway.
So I love watching the horse racing. It's fun.
Recently, yeah, I feel like we've really gotten into it. And
well, then like before we were actually betting with real money, we would just you'd make a bet, a gentleman's bet amongst the folks in the box.
The yellow one.
Yeah, yay, go yellow. But I think last year the first time we started betting.
I know.
It was only a couple bucks,
yeah,
but
it was. I know. And we had Scott in the box.
Oh yeah.
We're like, hey, how do we do this?
It is nerve-wracking attempting to bet on a horse racing because they have like, the cages that these people are in, getting the money, printing off your card. You have to know what you're asking for when you go up. Thankfully, they do help you, but you're like, I'm trying to bet on a horse and I don't know how. And they're like, oh, are you wanting to do a quinella? And you're like, sure. I like vanilla, but.
But yeah, I mean, I think betting responsibly, it's it's fun. It's a fun thing that they offer, and people, and I guess we didn't know, are very serious about the horse racing.
Oh yeah, deadly serious.
And I think people come from great distances to come in and participate,
which I was completely unaware of, but it's very interesting. There was one last year we bet something. I think it was like $5, and we won like a ton, and I was like, dang it, if only we had bet $700, we would be rich.
That's how they get you.
And usually the weather, it's the first week of August. The weather's pretty reliable, especially on the Oregon coast. I mean, it's generally, 60s, 70s. It's usually fairly nice.
Sometimes 80s.
Wow.
Okay, yeah.
There was one year, and it was my last year when I was at the editor of the newspaper. And there was just a deluge. Like, it was soaked. It rained between Friday night and Saturday morning, just soaked the track. And Saturday, that's like the big day for the horse racing. And
it's just like the big day for the fair. Like, so many people, people work during the week, and are able to show up. I mean, there's a lot that happens at the fair on Saturday, and there's just so many people. Anyway.
So yeah, it's 2018. Everything's soaked. The track's soaked. The horse racing's canceled, and people are pissed. Like, just berating people. They're yelling. They're screaming. I've never seen something like that. Like, that was wild.
It just turned everything upside down. So they had to cancel the horse races, but they did not cancel
The Pig and Ford.
the Pig and Ford. And that's an event that we haven't talked about yet.
Explorers at home, what is a Pig and Ford?
A Pig and Ford is a race that happens in Tillamook, Oregon at the fair. And it's where drivers get into their crank Model T Fords, pick up a pig.
But are the Model T Fords, like, are they like full cars like how we imagine them?
Oh,
like...
I guess not. They're stripped down, Model T Fords. And it is an interesting look. I would say it's iconic.
Because just like, it's the running board, it's the wheels, it's the giant steering wheel. So, I mean, it's kind of like they're in these like convertible contraptions.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
like if you just saw it, you wouldn't be like, oh, that's a Model T. It's just vehicle.
I'm going to say they're pretty iconic.
Wow. Word of the day.
Okay, so you have your Fords, you get your pig, you race around the dirt track, and then you have to, what is it? Is there four rounds? 3?
I think it's
God.
3 laps around. Okay.
And exchanging your pig every time. So it's like you grab the pig out of the one box, and then you do a lap.
I would say
you...
it's a pig out of a pen.
It's a pig out of a pen.
Pig in a pen. Pig pen. Okay, so they're all Model Ts. Like, you can't just have any, like, old car. Like, it has to be a Model T. Also, if you and I had a Model T and we were like, oh, we want to race this year, we cannot. There is a finite number of, I think they call them franchises.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's 10, 12. And it's, like, generational. It's passed down. We cannot enter. It's like the same families.
Right. You're either born into it or
it's
like
given to someone. Like you choose the heir.
Right. Because I do think there's somebody who's racing who it does not have lineage and he did not marry in. I think he kind of.
I don't know. I was maybe gifted or there was some family thing.
Right. So there is some in. But I mean, yeah, this is a club that's been going for 100 years and it's closed doors. And
closed doors, and it's a boys' club.
It's a boys' club.
There's I do not think women are allowed to drive, and maybe there's good intentions with it. I mean, it is fairly physical. They are running. I mean, they're running, plowing their bodies into these pens to reach down and grab the pigs. The pigs are, I think they're raised by some farmers who donate the pigs, and so like they're like monitoring. So. I will say they have done a good job of making sure that they're telling everybody that these pigs are safe, as safe as you can be, going around a horse track,
right?
Going however fast the Model T is able to go.
Yeah, so I mean, okay, so we got that going on.
But how big are the pigs?
I feel like they used to be a little bigger. I think they're little piglets now. I mean, what do you say? 10 pounds, maybe? Probably
maybe up to upwards to 20s. I mean, they were definitely like getting to like hog size at some point, and I feel like they were a little too unruly.
Yeah. So we got smaller pigs these days, it seems.
So yeah, there's a couple heats that go, and so I think there's like, I don't know, I want to say like 5 racers. They line up all of their Model Ts, their stripped down Model Ts, they're all painted in different colors. They line them up, someone's got a pistol, everyone's drawn for position. Again, it's on the horse racing track, so pistol goes off, everyone runs, they grab their pig, it's like under their arm, they crank start the Model T, they jump in. Usually they're like jumping over each other. I mean, it is very chaotic and silly to watch.
Yeah, it's lively.
They jump in, they're holding the pig's riding shotgun. I mean, usually the pig's looking pretty chill as they're hanging out. Mm-hmm. Surprisingly chill. And then they go.
Yeah, so I mean, it is a fun event. It's very entertaining. And yeah, it's been going on for 100 years. And my hope for the next 100 years is maybe we get some estrogen in there. And like, you know what else? When people call, everyone's like, oh, girls playing football, and they call them powder puff. What's up with that?
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Powder.
Okay,
so we need some
you
powder puff.
You want powder puff pig and Ford? That's a good idea. I mean, they have a women and children's heat. Like,
yeah,
it's like
women and children. Okay,
that was really
get
bad.
the
Really
okay.
Get me the vaudeville.
Anyway,
cane.
yeah.
I was going off like Titanic rules, like women and children to the
boats.
boats.
Do not bring the boat up.
I'm so sorry.
All right. Anyway, Pig and Ford, you guys. It happens every day of the fair, and the World Championships happen on Saturday.
But you said that, if they started in 1925, like as an official event, that also coincided with, you just keep calling it the Dome.
I call it the Dome, but it's when they built the fairgrounds.
So you mean like, the big renovation happened, which is interesting that they're like, oh, we need like a marquee event to go along with this.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean, but it's so fun. I mean, it's just so ingrained in like the tapestry of this community when you just say Pig and Ford. Like, you automatically know what that is.
Right. Everybody knows what you're talking about. And it's like, if you don't know what Pig and Ford is, I mean, I think every year people come where it's like, I'm here to see Pig and Ford because I didn't know what it was. And I heard it through the grapevine. If you are unable to make it to the fair and you do not know what we're talking about, you could get on the internet.
Ooh.
And Google Pig and Ford. You don't even have to do Tillamook.
Hey, no free pub.
Oh, okay.
So Google is not giving us a cent.
Oh, that's also true. Okay, you could. Well, I don't even know how to say it.
You can go on OPB. Like Oregon Field Guide did have a mini documentary thing.
Yeah,
that they did.
or I think they like interviewed some of the racers, and you kind of get some history, and you can anyway. But it's a fun visual, so you can see what we are talking about.
But there was one year. I mean, there's different tiers of the Pig and Ford racers. Like you have like the elite group that they're usually like top 3. Like they're probably gonna win.
Yeah. It's like we know who the crowd favorites are, the people that kind of always win. And so you're like, sure, maybe they're working out. I mean, I do think there's a lot of prep that goes into it. And I'm sure some people feel that pressure where you're like, I am really competitive and I want to win. And then you have people that are like, yeah, sure, it'd be nice to win, but I'm doing this for fun. And I'm just involved. And
like family tradition. Like there's this one guy, I love watching him. I love his Model T. I love the way he drives because he's just doing it for fun. Mm-hmm. One year, because he had no chance of winning. So he was going through, and some years they if you're doing poor, sometimes they don't exchange their pig and they just keep on going, and it's pretty funny. But one year he exchanged his live pig and pulled out a plushie, and then he was just driving with this like big plush pig, and that was very fun. But so there was the mud year. So like I said, in 2018 there was like the mud, and so usually they probably would have canceled it, but I think everyone kind of gathered together and they're like, no, like the show must go on. We're going to take our Model Ts and we're going to race them on the mud track.
Yeah.
And it was like topsy-turvy land. Like everyone who would do really well, like I think it was just like this good, like it leveled the playing field. Right. And yeah, this one guy who had never, I mean, he does okay, but he never won. And so yeah, he won, but you just watch every single lap, like everyone just got filthier and filthier till, I mean, they basically were muddier than the pigs.
I mean, I feel like it should be muddier every year, but whatever. Let's hose down the track. I mean, driving on the dirt track is crazy because I think there's just these big like
ruts.
I was gonna say rivets.
Just like jeans. So you have firsthand experience driving the Pig and Ford, and how did that come about?
I do have experience because as the Tillamook County Dairy Princess...
You were the Tillamook County Dairy Princess?
I was, and people like to call me the Dairy Queen, which is not accurate.
Talking to you, Gary.
So...
But you do make a good blizzard.
Wow. So I was the Dairy Princess, which meant I walked around the fair, I handed out... I don't know, stickers or activity books or something, some sort of like educational thing and to promote the dairy industry.
And but it's not just the fair. It's a year-long program. Right. But your role at the fair, I mean, you are kind of someone, you're an ambassador, you're going around, you're on stage for different things.
Right.
But
so one of the things that you get to do is you get to take a victory lap with the winner of the Pig and Ford...
The grand championship race on Saturday. The final day of the fair.
So it's Saturday. There's a guy who has won many times. He wins. I'm excited. I walk down to take my victory lap, and he is like cleaning the seats because the pigs have been in there. And
what a gentleman.
It was nice.
Okay, so I'm walking down and like...
Yeah, my dress and heels. I'm ready to go. Got my tiara on.
In the photograph, you were wearing a Got Milk sweatshirt.
Well, it was cold. Anyway, but
yeah, you've got a sash on, you've got a tiara.
Right, I am ready, and so he, offers the cars for me to get in, and I ask if I can drive instead, and to my surprise, he said yes.
What motivated you to ask for that?
I love to drive, and I thought I'd never seen a woman behind the wheel of the of the Ford.
Yeah.
And as we said, I'm a rebel, getting kicked out of 4-H clubs and driving the Ford, Pig and Ford.
Did you flip the finger to storm the Capitol as you went around?
I didn't, but
So-
I can't say that it was like Pig and Ford because I didn't have
You
the
didn't have a
pig.
pig.
So I guess just
Well, I mean, some people say men are.
wow.
So, what was it? Was it easier or more difficult to drive this stripped down Model T around a horse racing track?
It was more difficult than I expected, but I mean, again, I was like, what, 19 maybe, and no power steering. You're on this dirt track
Full of Gene rivets.
that had just had this crazy race. So I mean, it was indented
Right.
from the other, all the wheels on the road, but it was a very fun memory. I'm really grateful I was able to do it and experience it, and obviously that's something that most people have not and probably will never do.
I mean, you are probably the only Tillamook County dairy princess in like 60 years to be the one that was behind the wheel, which is pretty cool. I mean, do you remember the conversation? Like, what'd you guys chat about? I mean, it was probably kind of loud.
It was really loud. So I mean, there wasn't like a lot of small talk happening. I think I was just like, oh, this is like so cool or so fun, or
But
I
he probably had to coach you on how to drive it, right?
yeah, I'm sure there was some tips.
'Cause
Like,
you're like, oh, yeah.
turn here. Or like, I don't know, he probably put his hand on the wheel to like make sure I was going to actually like,
Fly through a fence.
woo! Hey, Leadfoot.
So the Pig and Ford, great. I mean, just marquee events. There was some controversy around some of the racers, not naming names.
Oh yeah, we're all about the drama over here.
Which is very fun because again, like, I think there's just so many different perceptions of what the Pig and Ford is. Like, you have the people that take it very seriously. You have the people that think it's very like it's all fun and games.
All right. I mean, the prize is your name on a plaque. It's bragging rights. That's the prize.
You get to hold on to the trophy.
Right, which is nice. And so, yeah, and then I think, people love to cheat because it's like, right, you want to switch things up. And so some people, I think historically, have done different things to make alterations to their Ford to help it like start quicker or...
Because with the Model T, you're allowed to like, repair it, obviously, but you're only supposed to use like stock, mechanicals, which is probably fairly difficult as time goes on, and Model Ts have been phased out. We're not bringing that back anytime soon. But can you imagine an EV Model T?
Yeah.
Hey. So, yeah, people were like using like modified mechanicals in their car to like you said, like make it start easier, and because it's a crank start, and so that could be kind of tricky to do. But somebody, I think, had like a special mechanism.
Somebody had like a string that was like, they had the illusion that they were cranking it, but maybe they weren't. Anyway, I mean, so much drama, but...
Someone put airplane fuel in their car? Like, who's doing these audits? Like...
Somebody.
Amazing.
Somebody who knows that this person shouldn't have won, apparently.
So again, it is just it's a fun thing. It's this tradition.
Good old fashioned small town fun.
I mean, just I don't think there's anything else like it. I mean, just a weird, silly thing that continues, and it could be better, obviously. But the fact that we still have it, and maybe the next 100 years will look a little different.
Yeah, and I think it's something that makes the Tillamook County Fair special and unique. Well, anything else about Pig and Ford?
Yeah, so it started over 100 years ago because legend goes, someone's pig got loose. And so in order to get the pig, they had to drive around and grab the pig. And then pretty soon you're driving while holding a pig. And it's just this like chaotic mess. And then someone was like, this would be a great event at the fair.
Yeah, those people need some entertainment.
And 2025, if you're listening to it in this year, is the 100th anniversary, as we stated. And it's, silly and fun.
Bring your blanket.
Bring your blanket, because we don't have enough room for you and the Bucks.
So
what are some of the... So there are nightly concerts every night in this area.
Mm-hmm.
And...
So right after, so it's like horse races, they clear out, then it's Pig and Ford, and then they clear out, and then they bring the big stage for, a decent concert for, the fair isn't that expensive to get in. It's not, I feel like we should have the rates, but
that's what the internet is for.
All right.
So they would get this like an interesting mix of talent that they would bring in. And I don't know how they find it. I don't know if these people are just like a part of like the county fair circuit or they're in the area. I think there's probably a mix of factors that go into
like
it.
right, whatever the fair's budget is, and then yeah, who happens to be touring and all that.
So you would either get like up and coming new talent, and sometimes that would take off, and we have seen some people that exploded in popularity when they were just starting and no one really necessarily cared about them. Or you'll get people who are really washed up and are just kind of like, oh, these people were famous like 15 years ago and it's cool to see them finally.
Yeah, like when Smash Mouth came to town and we're like, oh yeah, this song. I mean, that was surreal.
R.I.P. the lead singer of Smash Mouth. But yeah, they came the year before we started dating. So that was probably like 13 years ago now.
And then, yeah, like talking about someone who was up and coming, like years ago before we were together, Blake Shelton came, who I didn't know who it was.
Like long-haired Blake Shelton. Like that version of Blake Shelton.
Man, I don't even remember. I just we had a friend who she was like going to this concert alone and asked Jessica and I to...
Sup, Jessica?
I don't know, watch the concert with her. And so I feel like it was literally right before it started. She had been standing there for hours, like right at the front of the... of the stage. And there I go. I feel like I don't even know that I would do this today, but yeah, I was just like, oh, excuse us, and we just like walked all the way to the front, stand right by her. And
but when you're down in the dirt, you are so close to the stage. You could like grab them by the ankles if you wanted to. But you had like a love connection with a member of the band during that, I believe.
Well, me and the like bass guitarist or something had like matching Converse.
Which... Who else has matching?
And you and I. So you and me and the bassist all had matching Converse. But...
I smell menage a trois.
Well, you should have been there.
I probably was. In the grandstands on my
the
blanket.
So, right. I think at one point I like lift my leg to show the guy that we have the same shoes. He gave me like his guitar pick, I think, at the end of the thing.
My God. Did he put his phone number on it?
But I feel like... I don't know. I feel like Blake and I were having a moment.
Yeah, you and Blake Shelton were having a moment.
Yeah, it's hard to say now. I think I really knew in the moment, but I've let it go.
Because
he's with Gwen now, I guess.
You're kind of like a Gwen Stefani type. I could see that.
Well, anyway, so
Man,
yeah,
you could have been with Blake Shelton if you just played your cards right.
Well, probably, but I don't really feel like. I don't know. I just don't think Blake's my type.
Who is?
Jordan Wolfe.
You mean Josh Groban?
No. Yeah, I think the concerts. I really enjoyed. Was it last year or year before? There was like a tribute band.
They've
transitioned,
away.
Right?
So instead of getting old washed up rock bands, they get semi okay tribute bands. So they had Journey, they had Tom Petty. This year's Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, which I think it's fun. But
it's fine,
right? Before when they've had. Yeah, old washed up bands like
we had Three Dog Night, which our friend was absolutely stoked for. We met Three Dog Night, and they were really fun.
Yeah,
and so that was a fun concert. They would get. It was interesting. I feel like we got
the Guess Who.
Yeah, we did get the Guess Who. American Woman. I had to interview them, and he was kind of a douche, but that's fine. Not as much of a douche as all of the Oak Ridge Boys. Those guys,
God.
Oak Ridge Boys, if you're listening, get over yourselves. Shave your beard or braid them. Either look like a pirate or don't look like ZZ Top.
Commit.
Also, there was one year, I think we were in high school. My friends and I were sitting at the Sacred Heart booth, and I think the fair manager came up and said, "Well, hey, you three boys, any interest in running Spotlight tonight for the 38 special concert?" And then I think it was me. I don't know if it was me, Audra, and Eric, or me, Eric, and Bob, or me, Eric, and Sean. Some trio of the three of us went up into the upper area of the grandstands to run the spotlights for this concert. Just three dudes. And so, we were just running Spotlight for the 38 Special concert.
Well, who was playing?
38 Special. The band, 38 Special.
I don't know 38 Special.
They sing just hold on loosely, but don't let go.
I was probably there.
Yeah, probably.
In the box.
In the box, yeah.
Did they pay you?
I don't think so.
It was all volunteer.
We might have gotten some perk. I don't know if he bought us
elephant ear.
Dinner. Yeah, an elephant ear. I don't remember.
Yeah, well, that's fun.
And then I think there was a year, I think around like the Smash Mouth year, like that like few years, there was like some really good talent that came, like Lone Star came, which was my like one of my favorite like country artists. Like they had some really good songs and they did like really good cover songs, like they weren't just singing their own stuff, and so that
Yeah.
was fun because they're really talented. And then there was a year they brought, it wasn't music, they brought comedy. They brought Bill Engvall, like the blue collar comedy tour guy.
Right.
And I was like iffy on Bill Engvall. I was like, I don't know. It's like Larry the Cable Guy, Jeff Foxworthy thing. But he was really funny. And it was really relatable stand up, and I liked it a lot. He also came out, I think he came out on like a golf cart. And it was like cold that night, and he was like, "Oh, it's cold here on the Oregon coast." And he was wearing like a Tillamook High School like boosters sweatshirt, and I think the crowd ate it up. But I saw an article that he drew like the largest crowd ever for grandstand entertainment, and so
Wow.
I'm curious why they didn't do like try to replicate that again by bringing more comedy to the grandstands, because I feel like it would work really well, especially if you get someone who's quality and probably has a comedic styling that works for the community that you're aiming towards.
Well, when I was on the fairgrounds website, they kept saying that they were fiscally responsible.
Good for them.
And so I don't know if that really
Factors into them getting cover bands.
right. Like we've kind of moved away, because I will say the fair has definitely changed. And it still is good.
You can still get janky clothes.
Yeah. I mean, those things are there. But I mean, there's some things that are better and some things that are worse. But I am grateful that it's still around. And I think, participation is really down. There isn't as many exhibits, where people submit their flowers or their baked goods or their jams and jellies and pickled things or, whatever, all the stuff. And I mean, I think that was something that was nice, is participation, where you could showcase what you had been working on, but also acknowledge other people, and like not just Tillamook, but Tillamook County. So it's like, the one event that brings these counties together. And then when we were growing up, there was the local radio station that was
KTIL, baby.
that was stationed there, and
they would broadcast from the fairgrounds every day. And between the hours of like 10 a.m. and 5:30, there would not be any music on the radio station. It would just be them live
interviewing
covering
people and yeah, talking about what was going on. Like I was interviewed. I mean, I just remember like driving to the fair at some point. Like we had to like go home and then like turning on KTIL to see what was going on.
So you're missing out on?
Yeah, because again, I pretty much lived at the fair. I mean, I showered at the fair. Like after, again, if you're
Wow.
like doing the animals.
Same with the same area that you wash your cows. You just get,
Yeah. No, haven't you noticed the showers in those one bathrooms?
Oh, you showered there? Like
Yes.
kind of like a locker room?
Yes.
Oof.
That's where these people, yeah. You better recognize what these people that are showing animals and stuff have to like sacrifice.
But there's not even like a place to change.
Again,
What would you do?
you gotta like get into a stall or get your towel. I mean, I think that at some point I started going home.
Good
And maybe that's why I
God.
went home. I don't know.
Well, KTIL, so Mildred Davy, who is a local beloved legend, talk about icon. She had, I think it was an award-winning radio show that she did like every day, like It's a Woman's World, which way ahead of her time. So talking about entering things in the fair, she had a quote that she said, "If you do nothing else, like enter at least something into the fair. If everyone enters something, you'll have so many things." And we tried to do that last year. I mean, you did a carrot cake. I did my spicy ginger molasses cake, which I believe was a blue ribbon cake, and I got second place. But the person who got first was also the person in charge of the baked goods. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed a little questionable, but that's okay. And I think, judging is subjective, right? But
My cake was superior.
it was an excellent cake.
Thank you.
I would, if you're listening to this and,
Not even in Tillamook, but if you like have a county fair, I mean, Oregon, thankfully, has a pretty healthy and robust county fair program.
Yeah, but I think I mean, like, for example, like, my family grew up, like, participating. Like, my grandparents, like, my grandma submitted stuff. My mom was really passionate or gung-ho, and maybe because of what Mildred Davies said, it was like, we're going to enter flowers. We're going to enter, canned peaches or our cookies or artwork or all these things. But, I mean, like, your family never entered anything.
Not that I can think of.
And I think it's just like your family never entered that, and that kind of gets passed down. And so many people, like, I didn't know a lot of people that participated, like friends that I had in school. And I think just that continues, and people are like, right, like, I don't have to volunteer. I don't have to, like, what's in it for me? Why should I, submit something? And I think it's like just kind of, there is this shared community where you want to share this thing, and we can recognize and be like, oh, I saw your artwork, or I saw your quilt. I saw.
And it is really
something
cool to go to like those open class things in the exhibit hall and just see like and be surprised by some of the names you see, because this is a small community. So you do recognize a lot of the names. You'd be like, oh, well, I didn't know Samantha was like so talented at like sewing things. You'd be like, wow, like she's really like working really hard. You're like, man,
this Lego structure, where'd this come from? Or like wood burning. Or there's so many different things that people
right
create and can submit. And I think, and it also is like inspiring, right? Like, you don't know, by you participating in something, like, that could inspire someone else to create something like that, or like, just like the impacts of that. Anyway, you guys, county fair, it's important.
Are you gonna be submitting this year?
I mean, it sounds like it.
I mean, you did have a big plan to like go hog wild and submit a bunch of baked goods.
I did.
No, you have a whole bag of like pastry flour.
I do. Well, you're gonna have to walk around the fair and see if you see my name.
Friends, explorers, fairgoers, we have one final anecdote to share with you.
We're gonna save the best for last, and it is about when you and I really connected at the fair.
I think it was one of the most pivotal moments of us becoming friends again, and it was because of the fair. And every year, Outdoor School that we participated with and volunteered with would have a fundraiser where they would have a dunk tank, and so past and present counselors and staff would be able to sit in the dunk tank for some determined amount of time and be at the mercy of people throwing softballs at a trigger, which may or may not have worked. The dunk tank was pretty janky. Sometimes it would just fall.
Charm.
So I did it 2 or 3 years, and I would always be, try to pair up with like one of my buddies. But then I get a message from you.
I had never done it before, but I felt like oh, this year, like, I was involved with the program, and I felt like it was appropriate for me to be involved.
And so, I don't know, out of all the people that were like listed as potential people who were participating, you reached out to me. Was I your first choice?
Yeah.
My God.
My only choice.
And so you reached out to me being like, hey, do you want to be dunk tank partners? And my initial thought was, I'm not really friends with you.
See, and then you were like, friends again. I'm like, no, we were like acquaintances.
Okay.
So we
were friendly. We were friendly acquaintances.
We were friendly, but apparently not friendly enough for you to be like, oh yeah,
like gung ho.
Oh.
No, but I eventually, instead of being
eventually came around.
Well, I didn't say like, well, I was actually gonna do it with me. I said yes, and so we get together to like plan out our time in the dunk tank, which just turns into us catching up. I notice that you're left-handed. I'm immediately attracted to you, and
hey, you're dating somebody else.
Sure am. I'm not anymore. And then so it comes time for it. You say something like, oh, it was really weird. Like, I didn't know, like, we're not Facebook friends anymore. And I caught you in a lie, in your own little trap that you were weaving. And I said, Katie, I've never deleted a single person off Facebook. Ergo, you deleted me.
Yep. And I guess that was the beginning of a beautiful friendship
and
that started with honesty.
And I think you kind of like me calling you out.
I think it was good. I mean, again, doesn't it feel good to be seen? When someone can just read you and you're like, oh, wow. Well, you're right. I deleted you. Sorry, but then I asked you to be my dunk tank partner. So, right, we're catching up. It's all good.
So I have a whole like shindig. I have an outfit that I wear. I wear a tattered old, 10-year-old Spider-Man costume from when I was in like 3rd grade. My zipper era, if you will. And I have like this big inflatable like dolphin floaty. I've got goggles on.
Your
I've got
zipper area?
Zipper era. When
Era.
I went on the zipper for the first time.
Oh.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey,
well, you know what?
catch up. Get on my level. You show up in like a muumuu. I don't even know what you're wearing.
You know it was probably my mom's.
But you didn't come equipped to like, look fun and zany. So you start taking my stuff.
Yeah.
You're wearing like my floaties, my goggles. I'm basically naked at this point. I'm just wearing a ripped up Spider-Man shirt. It's ripped like on the stomach, so my gut's hanging out. I've got like man belly hair sticking out. And I think your grandma shows up. She's trying to dunk us in the dunk tank. Kids come up, they're hitting the button. We're just falling in. Sometimes you'd set up the platform to sit on, and you'd sit on it, and it would fail, and you'd just fall back in. Things were floaties were in there.
It was a good thing I had your floaty.
Funky little dunk tank.
Yep. Then my mom was there.
She was like a ringleader.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, step right up. And I was like, who is this wild woman?
Put him in the water.
Yep. I think she probably single-handedly made the most money for that program, just wrangling people.
Probably.
Man, really, maybe we should shift her calling to being like a dunk tank ringmaster.
Anyway.
So, the fair. Like I said, it's a place where friendships can be formed, your relationships, everything can change. One summer can change everything. These 4 days, I mean, nothing like that really ever came for me. Like, I never fell in love or made new best friends. I've strengthened some friendships, but I always held on to this hope that, like, maybe I'll fall in love at the fair. I'll finally get, I'll have, like, some magical fair moment with me and this girl, and we've been, like, orbiting each other. And I guess it was you all along.
Aww.
So, friends, you have 7 days to prepare for the Tillamook County Fair if you're listening to this on release day. So, the fair starts August 6th, runs through, I don't know, a couple days after that, and ends on Saturday.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Be there, be there, be there.
Yeah.
You can befriend us and sit in the box if you want. Only if there's room.
Anyway. So, right, the Tillamook County Fair, it's 134 years. I don't know what the future holds. It's great that we have it. It was, at one point in 2010, listed as one of the greatest county fairs in the country.
In the United States of America.
Which is quite a claim to fame. Like, it had a lot of people. And, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what this year of our fair journey looks like. And I'm excited to have the opportunity to go again and to see faces new and old.
Yeah.
Fresh and old.
Well, there's obviously so much we could say about the fair. There's so many things we didn't talk about, and we talked a lot.
Like, we didn't even talk about how our friend who runs the local Tillamook County, like, news station or, like, TV channel had us be on as her fair reporters for several years.
Yeah, I mean,
we were like interviewing people.
I feel like we have built a relationship with the staff that works for the fairgrounds, and yeah, I mean, we just have a lot of fair memories. And anyway, blah blah blah. I'm happy we could talk about it
incessantly about the fair and this thing that like has such deep meaning for both of us and for so many people in this community. Like it is,
and even outside of this community, also
all those people who love a Pronto Pup, love the Pig and Ford.
Well, thank you, everybody, for listening and hanging in there.
We appreciate you, explorers, and, have a Pronto Pup in our honor this week.
Making me hungry.
Hey, next week, to kick off the fair, where do you want to go?
I'm finally ready to go to Beaverton, Oregon.
Oh, yeah. Or this is going to be a running joke where every week we just kind of kick it. We're like, actually, it's not Beaverton. Okay, so explorers, we'll catch you next Wednesday for
Beavertron. Can't believe how long these toenails are.